All right, brother. So here we are, UFO time. First, are they going to happen? And is it going to be the real deal and not just government officials being given a pass by saying, oh, it's classified, it's too sensitive, can't talk to you about it?
Yeah, I'm going to bring in, I hope to bring in the gentleman you discussed earlier, as well as some other folks. I'd like to have a pilot, a Navy pilot. I don't want to bring anybody from the Pentagon. They've been responsible for covering this thing up for decades. I don't trust them. They lose over it. Since I've been in Congress 5 years, the last 5 years, they've failed every audit, yet nobody in Congress has the guts to ask them to correct their problem. You're looking right there at the Tic Tac videos that have been out for so long, and that hopefully one of the pilots that was involved with one of those following those UFOs at that time will be in attendance as well.
What about the scientists? Intel matters, but there's spin involved with that. There's interpretation about how to message it and what it matters. And that starts to take us away from what we need here, which is somebody who's looking with a discerning eye to say, here's why we think this is what it is, and here's why, if it's the case, we don't know. I mean, that would go so far to help the American people see this as more as just a point of fascination. Here's what's known, here's what's not. That's what scientists are supposed to do. We employ a ton of them. Are you getting any of them?
I hope so. I don't want to have a big cattle call. I don't want to have 15 people and we get off track pretty quick. Of course, I have to clear everybody with I'm not officially a chairman, but Chairman Comer has given me a lot of responsibility, as well as Speaker McCarthy has said this is basically my baby. I don't know if it's because they don't want to touch it or the fact that they understand that I understand a little bit more about it than most of the folks up there, and I've studied this issue for years.
Is in the business of picking a conclusion and then looking for proof to back it up. You want to be doing the opposite thing here, Congressman, which is we're trying to figure out what to make of these things, and we want the proof to go with it. So do you think you'll be able to do that here? Because, if you don't, two things. One, a lot of people are looking towards seeing you as their advocate on this and their agent. And two, if you don't, they'll probably think you're an alien.
That's true. There's a lot of division, as you can imagine. Sometimes it kind of reminds me of the Baptist church. The UFO community is divided a lot. I know you're probably not Baptist. You're probably a good Catholic, but I try to be a good Baptist. But there's a lot of division in the church, just as there is in the UFO community. So I'm just going to try to stick to the facts. People that have firsthand knowledge, are witnesses, that are credible people, and that really, and a lot of these people are making some sacrifices, like the whistleblower you had on your show. He's making an incredible sacrifice. He's obviously under attack right now. There he is right there on the screen. And, as I've stated many times, he's a patriotic American. He served his country. He's decorated. And maybe that doesn't account for much in Washington, D.C., but dadgummit, in East Tennessee, those people are the ones we hold close to our hearts.
I hear you.
When they go out, they rarely have to pay for a beer.
Two obvious things. One is my faith is a choice to deal with my flaws. Nothing good about me. I wouldn't have to have religion if I were good inherently. I need it to try to get me anywhere away from the hot zone. Second is, this is about the right to know. And that's really what it is. I'm open, of course. I'm open. What bothers me and has always bothered me about this is people who work for me telling me you don't get to know, and we're not even going to tell you why you don't get to know. It doesn't just spur a lot of conspiracies. It's just anathema to the transparency of a democracy. That's what I'm hoping you can break through. I don't care what the answers are. I just think we deserve them.
Well, when I get off the air, I'll look up anathema on Google, but
it's the opposite. You know what I'm talking about. Don't play that.
I know, but I know what you're getting at. And, it's an arrogance that you see in government. I think that's why folks like your pop and my dad were successful in politics, because they surrounded themselves with good people and they weren't arrogant and they listened to people. They won't even release the Kennedy files, brother. I mean, there's nobody it was remotely involved with that assassination that's alive now, yet they won't release it. There's an arrogance, and I believe a corruption.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.